What's going on, everyone? It's Tay with Spectacular Gadgets, and in this video, I will be taking a look at the dbrand KillSwitch 2 case.
Let's do this!
Spectacular Gadgets.
If you know, you know, and if you do know, you know that this is a dbrand product because of the packaging. Now, for protection purposes, I have added a tempered glass screen protector on this device. So the next thing I picked up was the micro SD card to expand on my storage. The Pro Controller was my next pickup. Very happy that I got it. Love to play with the system docked. One of the reasons that I prefer docked in a Pro Controller over playing in handheld mode is that the Switch by itself is just not comfortable to hold. It's kind of flat on the back, so when you're playing for quite some time, it can get uncomfortable. That's where I'm hoping dbrand can step in and help with the ergonomics and help me go back to playing in handheld mode much more comfortably. In typical dbrand fashion, you get the definition of being extra, and I'm so here for it. And before you start typing in the comment section about the Joy-Con detachment issue some users are having, yes, I am aware, and dbrand has sent an email regarding their next steps. If you don't know what I'm talking about, basically some users were having issues when the case and grips were installed, and then they would pretty much hold the Switch 2 by the Joy-Cons alone. In some cases, the Joy-Cons detached itself from the console, making the console fall or drop to the ground. So again, dbrand is aware of this, and they will be sending out replacement grips for this issue.
Spectacular Gadgets.
The dbrand packaging is like a whole experience for me. It's like you have some sarcasm with neat and tidy vibes. I mean, I feel threatened and amazed at the same time. And all of that just to say this, everything is in its place. There's nothing loose and falling out. I'm going for the case first, and the inner styrofoam is holding the Joy-Con grips in place. Dbrand branding on the back of the case with a cutout for the kickstand. And don't forget, you can customize this a bit further by purchasing a skin. They have many skins to go onto the back of this case to make it your own. But let's talk about attention to detail. What do we have here? Just some more little like Easter eggs, right? We have some, I don't know if you can see it, but there's 2 blue tabs, and that is going to be like a sticky like adhesive so it can stick on the back of your Switch. Here is your kickstand protection. You'll remove the blue tabs and stick this onto your kickstand. When using this case, you will need this dock adapter. Because of the case, it won't fit in the original dock that comes with the Nintendo Switch 2. You have the single Type-C adapter. I do see ventilation holes here. If you flip it over, you do have 4 rubber feet, so it's not going to be sliding all around. And I will go into detail on how we're going to attach this to the original Switch 2 dock. Alright, let's do this. Press the button to release your Joy-Cons from the Switch 2 console. And then I want to go ahead and start with the back of the case, so we'll install that first. And I'm going to make sure that I have the case right side up. So how you do that is just go ahead and take the case, and it should be like the dbrand should be reading right, but you can go ahead and line up the buttons and ports to make sure that you do this as well. So I start from the bottom and snap the top in, and then I just realized that I did forget those blue tabs, so I'll remove the case, and that will be a good test of removal of the case. But do notice I have a screen protector on there, and this case doesn't interfere with the glass screen protector that I have installed. I have removed the blue tabs and now I'm able to take advantage of the adhesive that they place on the case. I'm making sure that it's lined up so it's not going to slip and slide anywhere. Here's a look at the case on both sides. Joy-Cons are removed, and again, no issues with my glass screen protector, and the ports and everything are pretty open. There's pretty wide open cutouts for all of that. And the next thing that I'm going to want to do is go ahead and place the kickstand protector on. So this is a nice little extra that adds a little more protection, and I'm not mad at that.
Spectacular gadgets.
These, my friends, these Joy-Con grips are what makes playing in handheld mode great again. Looking up close, you can tell that these grips are heavily textured, and then placing them on the Joy-Cons are easy peasy. There is some flexibility, but once on, they have a good, tight fit.
Spectacular gadgets.
Bullseye. This case did exactly what I needed it to do. It gave me a pronounced holding area. Similar to the Steam Deck, this is a case by subcase, but the device itself, the Steam Deck itself, was made to have those grips. You see? This is how it is for the Steam Deck. It gives you something to hold on to. Even though it's a large device, it was still very comfortable, and people were surprised. So if you take a look at the Switch, let's go ahead and remove the Joy-Con so I can kind of show you what I'm talking about. You should know what I'm talking about. But if I remove the case, look, that is just as flat as all else. Like, there's no support, there's nothing to hold on to, whereas this has a sufficient handle, like something to place in your palm. So this case definitely gives you what you need to hold onto the device and be able to play in handheld mode for longer periods of time. I just found that it just wasn't comfortable. I wasn't as accurate when I was playing without this case, and now I can play in handheld mode without any issues. The kit that I picked up includes the Joy-Con skins. It was the Essential KillSwitch kit, which was $60. There's an $80 travel kit and a $100 Ultra kit, and these come with a few more accessories. Installing the Joy-Con skins is pretty easy. You're going to want to make sure you take the grips off first, and then make sure your Joy-Cons are clean and dry, and then go ahead and just place the skin on top of the Joy-Cons, and you'll pretty much know which skin goes on to what side by the large analog stick cutout. But yeah, so this color that I got, or this skin choice option, was the obsidian color. And then again, at the time of my purchase, they threw in the triple black skin. So you just want to take your time and put this on. And I didn't use any heat or anything like that. I just kind of rubbed over the area a few times and I was good to go.
Spectacular gadgets.
Once you get the skin on the Joy-Con, go ahead and replace the grip back onto the Joy-Con. And it shouldn't, again, interfere with the skin or anything. They made this to precisely be able to have their skins on there, and I think it looks really good. I like that color shift. And so again, this is the obsidian option that I chose for the skin. Alright, so the last thing we need to discuss is the dock adapter. You're going to need this because with this new KillSwitch case on, it's not going to fit inside the Nintendo dock. So you're going to take this accessory and you're going to place it inside of the Nintendo dock. And let me show you. It's just as simple as sliding it right down into the slot of the original dock and kind of press down to make sure everything's in place. Then all you do is take your Switch and place it on the front part of the dock. Before you do that though, let me show you this little line here is to help kind of guide you to where the port is and where you need to line your Switch 2 up, and they have a little dot on the case so to help you better, but depending on where you place your dock, it could be helpful or it may not be. It just depends on where you're placing your dock. So once the Switch 2 is properly placed in the dock, you'll have TV mode up and running. And this is a way, again, to protect your Switch and still be able not to have to take off the case when you want to do TV mode. So the adapter is a lifesaver, and there you have it. If you watched my last video of the 4 essential accessories for the Switch 2, you'll remember that I did purchase this traveling case, the TomTalk traveling case for the Switch 2. Now with this case on, I want to see if it will be able to fit inside of this case, just for those of you who are wondering if you already spent your money. And as you see, it looks like it's a lost cause, but if you push this little pillow part up a little bit and place the Switch 2 inside, you will actually be able, with the Joy-Cons connected, to be able to close the case, and therefore you can still use that traveling case that you purchased. Winning! Unfortunately for this accessory, you're not going to be necessarily winning. You will have to take the case off before you can actually use this. Sorry. Lastly, I like to also do this with my phone cases and show you that the ports and everything are precisely cut, so you're not going to have any issues if you're charging your Switch 2 up like this. And as we saw earlier, it fits inside of the dock. The dock adapter, let's be clear, the dock adapter and the ports and cutouts are all perfectly fine. Now at the end of the day, I must say that this case is going to have to definitely be on the must-have accessory list for the Nintendo Switch 2, as it does improve upon the functionality of being able to use the Switch comfortably in handheld mode, plus it gives you the protection that you want and need. Well, that about wraps it up for this video. I want to thank everyone for taking the time to chill with me as we go through this journey. And until next time, everyone, I want you all to have a spectacular day. Later.